Billionaire Kanye West seen in streets homeless.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched the medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue. Right?
Those wild clone rumors about Kanye West are back, and the internet is losing its mind again. People are saying they might have actually found the real Kanye. Recently, clips started blowing up online showing a man sitting alone on a park bench. At first glance, it looks like just a random homeless guy. But when you zoom in, the face, the build, even the walk, it's uncanny. People are swearing that's Kanye, sitting there like he's been hidden away from the world while some so-called clone walks around pretending to be him. And the internet went absolutely crazy over it. Comments are flooding in like, that's him for real. They replaced Kanye years ago. People are convinced something strange is going on. That maybe the man we see at fashion shows or award events isn't the real at all. It's wild. But here's where it gets even creepier. This isn't totally out of the blue. Kanye himself once claimed that his handler tried to force heavy medications on him, including lithium.
Someone found the original Kanye West.
That's the same drug Britney Spears said she was given under her conservatorship. Kanye warned people before, saying something wasn't right behind the scenes. And we all remember what those meds did to Britney. Turned her into someone else entirely. She looked sedated, robotic, and controlled, like she wasn't even living her own life anymore. When you start connecting the dots, it doesn't look like mental health care. It looks like control, a weapon dressed up as treatment. Then there's Harley Pasternak, Kanye's former trainer, the same guy who literally threatened to have Kanye institutionalized again. Yes, a trainer who even says something like that. He told Kanye he'd bring him back to Zombieland. Let that sink in. What kind of personal trainer talks like that to one of the biggest artists on the planet?
When I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah.
To Vegas, my therapist sat me down in a room and said he had a million phone calls about how I was not cooperating in rehearsals and I haven't been taking my medication. All of this was false. He immediately the next day put me on lithium out of nowhere. He took me off my normal meds I'd been on for 5 years. And lithium is a very, very strong and completely different medication compared to what I was used to.
Those wild clone rumors about Kanye West are back, and the internet is losing its mind again. People are saying they might have actually found the real Kanye. Recently, clips started blowing up online showing a man sitting alone on a park bench. At first glance, it looks like just a random homeless guy. But when you zoom in, the face, the build, even the walk, it's uncanny. People are swearing that's Kanye, sitting there like he's been hidden away from the world while some so-called clone walks around pretending to be him. And the internet went absolutely crazy over it. Comments are flooding in like, that's him for real. They replaced Kanye years ago. People are convinced something strange is going on. That maybe the man we see at fashion shows or award events isn't the real at all. It's wild. But here's where it gets even creepier. This isn't totally out of the blue. Kanye himself once claimed that his handler tried to force heavy medications on him, including lithium.
We gotta get the truth before we can get the love, or else we're just loving the lies.
Love is God. What have you got to say to people that are trying to cancel you?
He can't cancel him.
I'm here.
That's right.
We here. We ain't going nowhere, baby.
We've been here for years.
If I ever went anywhere, we know why. You understand what I'm saying?
Everything seemed off. It was like the spark that made him Kanye West had faded. And it wasn't just about appearance. His behavior had changed too. He seemed offbeat, disoriented, and far less focused than before. Let's not forget, just a few months earlier in late 2022, Kanye was out there every single day talking to paparazzi, dropping bold statements and sounding clear, passionate, and totally in control of his thoughts. He wasn't mumbling, he wasn't scattered, But after all that blacklisting and those 2 mysterious weeks when Kanye completely vanished, something definitely changed. The man who came back wasn't the same one we'd seen before. Suddenly, Kanye's calm confidence was gone, replaced by chaotic outbursts and strange, unpredictable behavior.
Well, we haven't seen him really since all the anti-Semitic rants and all those interviews he was doing.
He's been
hanging around with Nick Fuentes.
Disappeared for a couple of weeks.
Really laid low. Well, he resurfaced in Beverly Hills. He was not solo, though. He was with a woman, a blonde woman. And that's all we can tell you about her because, one, we didn't get a really good look at her. There's one shot and there's another as they were walking into the Waldorf Astoria.
In Beverly Hills?
In Beverly Hills. And
holding hands.
They are holding hands. So don't know who she is, but he's finally back.
He started going off in random rants that barely made sense, and he seemed to be spiraling faster than anyone expected. Then came that viral moment, Kanye's first run-in with the paparazzi after reappearing with Bianca. You can literally see the shift in him. Instead of the focused, outspoken Kanye from December 2022, this version looked tense, paranoid, and on edge. He was snapping at photographers, covering his face, and refusing to answer a single question. His energy was dark, defensive, like someone who didn't want to be seen or couldn't fully explain what was happening. It was jarring to watch, almost unsettling, because this wasn't just mood swings or media stress. It was like he had become a completely different person overnight. The contrast between the Kanye who vanished and the Kanye who returned was too extreme to ignore. Now here's where things start to get really unsettling: the lithium angle. Kanye himself claimed that his so-called handler tried to force him onto an extremely high dose of lithium, the same drug often used to calm people down or keep them compliant. And if you know anything about lithium, you know it's no joke. This isn't just some light medication. It can seriously change how a person thinks, feels, and reacts. Kanye said it straight up. He felt like they were trying to sedate him, to strip away his spark and his voice. Lithium doesn't just stabilize moods. It flattens emotions, dulls creativity, and slows a person's energy. It makes people easier to manage, easier to control. When you connect that to how Kanye's behavior and personality seem to fade after those missing weeks, it suddenly starts sounding less like coincidence and more like a chilling pattern. And that's exactly where people start connecting the dots, straight to Britney Spears. She's openly shared how she was forced onto lithium during her conservatorship. And what she described sounds terrifying.
A world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements?
Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment.
Britney said the drug hit her so hard that she couldn't even hold a normal conversation. Her mind felt foggy, her body heavy, and her emotions completely shut down. Fans remember her saying she felt trapped in her own body, unable to think clearly or fight back. That's why so many people are now drawing eerie parallels between Britney's story and Kanye's claims. Both were high-profile stars who spoke out, got labeled as unstable, and were suddenly medicated into silence. When you look at those similarities side by side, it doesn't just feel like coincidence, it feels like the same playbook being used all over again. So when you see lithium pop up in both Kanye and Britney's stories, and then notice how both of them started spiraling right after their so-called handlers stepped in, you can't help but ask, what's really going on here? Is this truly about mental health management or something way darker? Because the pattern is just too obvious to brush off. Both stars spoke out, got labeled as unstable, and then suddenly started acting completely different after being medicated. It's almost like every time a celebrity challenges the system, the same formula gets used: isolate them, drug them, and make the world believe they've lost their mind. And speaking of handlers, let's not forget the Harley Pasternak situation, because that part still feels unreal. This man openly told Kanye he'd send him back to Zombieland, basically threatening to institutionalize him again. Who even says that to anyone, let alone one of the biggest icons in music? It's disturbing, and it makes you wonder who's really pulling the strings behind all of this. And here's the thing. That wasn't some random rumor floating around. That was a documented threat from someone actually in Kanye's inner circle. The fact that Harley Pasternak said something so extreme, so casually in a text, says a lot about how deep and powerful these behind-the-scenes systems really are. It's like there's a level of control most of us can't even imagine. But wait, it gets even wilder. Once fans started digging into Harley Pasternak's background, they uncovered some shocking details. Turns out, before he was ever a celebrity trainer, Harley actually worked for the Canadian government, and not in some boring office job. He was reportedly employed at a military facility that focused on research into psychological operations. Basically, methods to influence or control human behavior. That revelation set the internet on fire. Then, someone on X dropped another bomb, pointing out that Harley had also trained a list of celebrities who had mental breakdowns or died under suspicious circumstances.
Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs,
including Mac Miller and Brittany Murphy. Fans were stunned. How could one guy be linked to so many tragic cases? And if that's not alarming enough, there's even footage of Harley in an interview admitting he had deep knowledge of mind-altering substances, saying his military role gave him the freedom to experiment without worrying about legal consequences. When you hear that and then think about Kanye's claims, it's hard not to feel like something much darker is hiding beneath the surface. But here's where things get really dark, because there's another chilling link between Kanye, Harley Pasternak, and yet another celebrity whose death left everyone with more questions than answers: Aaron Carter. On November 5th, 2022, Aaron was found dead in his bathtub, and the official report called it an accidental drowning caused by substances. But fans didn't buy it. The timing and details felt way too suspicious. And here's the twist that made everyone's jaw drop. Just one day before he died, Aaron had tweeted, "Yo, Kanye, let's talk man to man." That message sent chills through social media because people knew Kanye had recently been calling out Harley Pasternak. And now Aaron suddenly wanted to speak to him about it. And seriously, if someone like Harley Pasternak was bold enough to threaten Kanye in text messages, just imagine what could be happening behind closed doors. That's the part that sends chills down people's spines. If that kind of threat can be made so casually in writing, what else gets said or done where there are no cameras, no proof, and no one to stop it? That's exactly why so many people think the so-called clone theory isn't just wild imagination. It's a desperate attempt to explain something that clearly doesn't add up, because when you line everything up, the lithium claims, the weird public appearances, the body double rumors, the mysterious celebrity deaths, and even the sudden introduction of a so-called handler wife, the way the whole thing starts to look less like coincidence and more like a carefully crafted pattern, and now those clips of that so-called homeless Kanye have set the internet on fire again. People are saying it looks too much like him. Same face, same build, just broken down. And that's what's reignited all the clone talk. Like, seriously. What really happened during those 2 mysterious weeks in December 2022 when Kanye disappeared without a trace? Why did his whole vibe, appearance, and energy shift so drastically afterward? And where did this sudden wife Bianca even come from? Before vanishing, Kanye was literally begging Kim K to take him back, crying out in public, trying to fix his family. Then just 2 weeks later, he's suddenly married to a woman nobody's ever heard of before. That doesn't sound normal. It sounds staged. Now I get it. The clone theory sounds wild at first. But think about it. Hollywood has used body doubles for decades. For stunts, paparazzi distractions, fake sightings. It's literally part of how they operate. So if someone really wanted to replace Kanye or create confusion about his whereabouts, starting with a look-alike wouldn't even be far-fetched. That's why people are connecting the dots, saying this could be way bigger than just one artist losing control. Because here's the bigger truth. This isn't just about Kanye. Hollywood has a long, dark history of controlling anyone who gets too vocal or too close to the truth. There are certain things you're just not supposed to say. Things about how the money flows, who holds the real power, and the secret ties between studios, record labels, and major media outlets. And every time someone starts talking, every time a star steps out of line, suddenly they break down, get canceled, or vanish for treatment. Sound familiar? So whether you buy the clone theory or not, you can't deny the pattern. Between the medication, the media control, the mysterious double, and the suspicious timing, it's no wonder people believe Kanye might be under some kind of manipulation. The more you look at it, the harder it is to just call it coincidence. So what do you think? Is the Kanye we see today, on TV, on social media, in those music videos, really the same man? Or did something happen during those 2 missing weeks that changed everything? I want to know what you think. Drop your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Because trust me, this story is only getting stranger from here.